All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Tap Into Your G. I'm Jalita Mims, the founder of Raise Your Energy. And each week we meet here on Zoom to explore practical mindset tools through gratitude, emotion, and elevation so that we can help create our lives with more intention. So, wherever you're joining from, I'm happy that you're here. And now let's tap into our G. So tonight we're actually talking about manifestation of all things, right? Because it is an inside job. So we're going to dive a little bit deep. I want to help you guys understand manifestation, and we'll do some practical things tonight that you can use moving forward to help with your manifestation journey. So, over the past few weeks, we've been talking about some other things which have been laying the foundation for tonight, right? We learned how to listen to our emotions and look at the thoughts behind them, how to choose alignment and elevation and recognize resistance without allowing it to stop us, right? Tonight, we're connecting those pieces to deepen our understanding of manifestation and the role that we play in deliberate creation. Because believe it or not, we are always creating, whether it's the things that we want or don't want. Best believe you are definitely playing a role in the things that keep showing up in your life. When we talk about manifestation, we often focus on what we want to receive, achieve, or experience in the outer world. But manifestation begins before the thing shows up. Right? It begins with what we focus on, what we feel, what we believe is possible, and how we choose to move. So, tonight we're going to explore manifestation through the three levels of GEE, which is the framework of the brand Raise Your Energy. So we got the outer G, which represents the gratitude piece, the energy, right, which is emotion, and the higher G, which is the elevation part of it. So these are more than just three parts of my framework, GEE. They represent three levels of awareness through which we experience and deliberately create, right? So in the outer G, that's where the conscious level of things. That's where all the problems exist, right? It's the reality that we're experiencing right now. Here on this Zoom call is the outer G. The energy is the subconscious, right? But that's where the solutions exist. That's where your imagination is. That's where the emotions live, right? The higher G is the superconscious or the alignment piece, that elevation, that God, if you will, part of it that is like the solver of, putting all the pieces together. So, like I said, the outer G is the current physical reality. And this is where we consciously experience the problems, the circumstances, and the conditions that you probably want to change, right? And gratitude helps us observe the problem without becoming limited by it. So when the problems show up, we have to say thank you. You have to be grateful for the problem. Why? Because the problem creates contrast. And that contrast is what raises your awareness of what you no longer want, and it gives you that clarity about what you desire instead. So, the energy, the subconscious, where the solutions live, that's imagination and emotion. That's where we move beyond the visible problem and create an internal experience of the solution. Now, when I use the word solution, I'm not saying to figure out how to do it, how to get the manifestation to happen. I mean that final result you want to experience as the solution, the car, the house, the relationship, the money, whatever that thing is that you desire. That's what I'm considering as the solution in this context, right? So we imagine the absolute end result, and then you connect emotionally with what feels like to already have that thing or to experience the experience. So the higher G, that's the superconscious, and that's where the alignment takes place. And it's basically where the outer G and the inner G they come together, but then your higher G is where everything is aligned. So when those two come together, that's where the higher G comes into place. So from that higher elevated state, that's when you become open to intuition, ideas, opportunities, and inspired actions that are going to reveal that path to your final outcome or the thing that you're manifesting. So basically, the process is the outer G gives us awareness of the problem, right? The energy creates the experience of the solution, and your higher G brings those two into alignment. So, gratitude, emotion, and elevation, that's how we move through each level. So, tonight I'm going to use the story of how I manifested a car in 27 days to show you how the process of manifestation works, right? And how it worked in my own life. But I also want everybody here to participate and apply it to something that you're also creating. So, the first thing I'd ask everybody to do, please, is think of one thing that you would like to manifest. Think of one thing that you would like to manifest. It doesn't have to be something huge, not your biggest dream. It could be anything, but it should be something specific enough for the purpose of tonight's call that you can picture it and you can use it throughout the conversation tonight as needed, right? So think of something that you would like to manifest. So you want to think about, what are you creating? Why is it meaningful to you? And how would having it benefit or support you? I'll put these in the chat so you can just think about, because we're going to stick with whatever that thing is that you choose. We're going to keep that for the duration of this call. Whoops. Okay. So what are you creating? Why is it meaningful to you? And how would having it benefit or support you? Does anybody maybe want to share what they came up with? It's no pressure to share, but you'll just keep this in mind as we go throughout the exercise, whichever this thing is that you choose. All right. Does everybody have their thing? Okay, still deciding. Yeah, I want to give you a minute just to think about it. So for me, I was manifesting a car, right? And I knew what I needed to create because my car was breaking down every day. I didn't know how I could get another car, but I knew I needed something better. So that is what the basis of my example will be for this. Um, but yeah, so as I'm telling the story, you still have time, obviously, to think of the thing that you want to manifest for tonight's call. And not saying like it's going to show up as soon as we hit in Zoom and you're going to be like, look, the car is outside. These are just going to be some tips and clues where you can understand how this actually works, right? So, I'll go a little bit deeper into the outer G. Like I said, that's the consciousness, the problems. That's where your current physical reality is. So, in the outer G, this is where you recognize what's happening. This is where you experience the problems. This is where you become aware of what's not working, where you identify what you no longer want. The outer G is where you gain clarity about what you desire instead of the thing that's taking place. And gratitude changes how we meet the problem, right? It doesn't require us to pretend that the experience isn't painful or frustrating or difficult, right? It doesn't mean that we have to call the problem good either. It just means we can appreciate what the problem is revealing, right? Because the problem creates contrast, and that contrast raises our awareness. And gratitude helps us receive the clarity without becoming limited by our current circumstances. So for me, my outer G, this story about this car, it started it was in 2013. Okay. So in 2013, my outer G, or my current reality, looked like this. I was a single parent. I was living paycheck to almost paycheck. I had horrible credit, no savings. I literally paid my rent late every month and had to pay a fee, which make sense. Like, but I still was like, I'm paying my rent late, right? And I was driving a 1998 Ford Taurus that looked good on the outside, but it broke down like every 10 days, damn near. At one point, it was like every 10 days. The AC didn't work, it was leaking things. But those things were the conscious problems that existed within my outer G at that time. Those were the circumstances that I was physically experiencing and seeing, right? So you have an idea, outer G, current reality, living check to check, bad credit, no money, car breaking down all the time. So one day, instead of focusing on everything that was wrong with my raggedy car, I went into a moment of genuine gratitude. I was already in a practice of writing down the 10 things every morning that I was grateful for. And my car was always on the list of things. But this specific day, I just went in on going in gratitude about I'm grateful for the AC. The AC was not working in that car. I was grateful for all these things that the car really didn't have, but I was grateful anyway. And it's just like I would rub the dashboard and say, thank you just for getting me to work. And that car would sputter into the parking space at my job. And then I would get in the car after work and rub the dashboard and say, thank you for getting me home. And that car would sputter into the space in my apartment complex, right? But I was so grateful because I made it, because it's been times where I was stranded and walking on the freeway, because my car broke down. So that morning, while I was being extra grateful, something shifted. And I was thinking about all those things, and I just felt grateful for the clarity. Like every feature that my car lacked that I was grateful for, it helped me realize what I wanted to have in my next car. Every breakdown was making me more aware that I was ready for something different. And I just started bawling tears. I was like sobbing almost uncontrollably about this car, right? Nothing about the car had changed, but I was no longer looking at the problem as proof that I was stuck. I started to see the problem as information that was showing me what I was ready to create. So I'm gonna continue with what happened with once I started crying or after as I was crying, because this is when really the magic actually started. So now, hopefully, everybody had a chance to think about that thing that that you wanted to create. I want you to just think about, for me, it was a car, and the problem was what? That it was breaking down. I was having issues. So, whatever that thing is that you are creating, now think about what problem brought this desire to your awareness. What was it that just now made you like, yeah, I'm going to manifest a new husband, or I don't know if y'all, I don't know if anybody want to manifest that, but whatever the thing is, what is the problem that brought this desire to your awareness? Just think about that. You don't have to share. Um, Gail, I don't know. Some people might want to manifest a husband. I never had a husband, so I don't know. Do I even want to? I don't know. And what has this problem shown you that you no longer want? So the problem that car brought to my awareness was that obviously I needed another car. The problem, it showed me that I no longer wanted to feel insecure, unstable. I had a daughter who wants to be, shooting craps every time you go get on the freeway. Like, I hope we make it. So just start thinking about the things that support the manifestation, because it's good to know, oh, I want to manifest this thing, but you got to get a little bit deeper to the whys of it. Anybody want to share before I keep going?
Yeah, I can share that right now at this moment in time, I'm creating copper wire jewelry like rings and bracelets. That's just what I'm into at the moment. The most. It's always several things. That's just how it is with me. I work on several things, but the number one right now is copper wire jewelry. So it's the question is, what are you creating? And I'm going to read what I wrote. At the moment, I'm creating copper wire jewelry. Um, why is it meaningful to you? Creating copper wire jewelry, specifically right now, rings and bracelets. And this answers number three as well. Well, it feeds my creative spirit first and foremost. And I also realize I can make money from this. I mean, I'm doing
Mm,
it for pure enjoyment, but I'm like, you know what, Wanda, you could sell this, girl.
yeah,
So that's how it
absolutely.
would benefit and support me. So mine is not specifically a problem. It would be a problem if I don't create something. That would be a
Mm,
real problem for
I
me.
love that. I love that.
Mm.
So the manifestation, is it to make lots of money through your copper wire jewelry or to be, have more visibility? Because you're already creating physically with your hands, right? The jewelry.
Hmm. Hmm.
So the manifestation part of it would be the
Financial.
financial. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Got you.
because I was strictly doing it for
For
the
fun.
enjoyment. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And that's sometimes where all the millions come from too. Okay, thank you for sharing that. Anybody
Oh,
else
you're
want to
welcome.
share? And hey, IA Frazier, I see you recently joined. So we're talking about manifestation, and I've asked everybody to think of something that you want to manifest, and then we're going to go through some exercises over the course of this call to help with manifesting that thing. Okay, I will go ahead and I don't nobody else, I don't think okay. So the gratitude for the problem, like I was saying. So for me, the gratitude did more than change how I felt about my raggedy car. It moved me beyond the conscious problem and opened the door to a subconscious experience of the solution. So while I was in there crying, and I was actually in work, I worked alone during this particular shift. It was a Saturday morning, and I'm in there just crying, hollering at work. And it's like somebody just snatched me up by the collar, and I just like caught my breath, and I saw a vision. It was like a movie was playing, right? It wasn't like I thought of imagining this or like, ooh, I wonder what it would be like. It's just like something slapped the shit out of me, and I was watching a movie that was engaging all five of my senses. I saw myself driving this shiny black car. I knew it was a Toyota or a Honda. I was behind the wheel of it. I could see the cars on the side of the freeway. I could hear the Adele song playing. And for those of people that are in Michigan, I was on 94. I could see the big tire. There was some clouds. It was blue. I'll never forget. I could smell this inside of the car. It was like a psychic vision, honestly. Like even thinking about it now, I could still go back. The colors were so crisp, but it literally stopped me from crying. It was an epiphany moment. And I was like, I'm getting a car. Like I got so excited. I immediately called my mom and I was like, I'm getting a new car. And she was like, okay then. Because she already knew my situation, right? But I wasn't asking her what she thought about it. I wasn't telling her that I was hoping I was going to get one. I was telling her I had decided. Like I believe that. That vision was everything. So a few minutes later, she called me back and then she saw a car on TV. They were having a contest at Macy's giving away a Honda, like a new car, brand new, right? So she took me to fill out for the contest because my car of course wouldn't make it that far. I didn't win that contest, right? And even when I walked in, the car that was on display wasn't a shiny black car like I had in my vision, but that contest appeared almost immediately after I declared that I was getting a new car. It was the first confirmation that something had shifted, right? The confirmation appeared in my outer world, but the shift had began within me. It was inside, right? The problem created awareness. The gratitude opened me to possibility. Emotion allowed me to experience what was possible before I physically had it, right? The vision was the energy in action. The energy is where we use imagination and emotion to create a subconscious experience of that thing, that fulfilled outcome, the thing you're manifesting. I didn't have the car physically, but for those few moments, I experienced it internally. I saw it, I heard it, I smelled it, I felt it, and I connected with the emotion of having it. So that experience moved the car from something that seemed impossible to something I now could imagine receiving. So, before I tell you how I continue strengthening that emotional connection, I want to give you an opportunity to create an internal experience of your own manifestation, right? So, for the things that you're creating, wait, let me make sure I'm not missing something. Okay. Oh, you said you know where that is on the freeway. So we're gonna just do a quick little, probably take us 5 minutes to do like a visualization. So please bring to mind that thing that you want to manifest. And let's see. I'm gonna put a little music on. I don't know if y'all can hear that or if it's not too loud, hopefully. All right, so if you're able, I know some people join Zooms and they're cooking or doing driving or something like that, right? But if you're able to, if you could please just get comfortable. And if it's comfortable for you to close your eyes, please do so. And I'd like you to take 3 slow, deep breaths, right? So you're going to breathe in through your mouth and then hold it and breathe out through your nose. So breathe in and hold it. Now breathe out through your mouth. Do it again in through your nose. Pause. Now breathe out. And one more time in through your nose. Hold it and breathe out through your mouth. Now I want you to bring to mind the thing that you are manifesting. Think about it. Allow yourself to see it clearly. And if you just joined, we just started doing a visualization meditation. So we just took a few deep breaths and closed our eyes and thinking about something that we want to manifest. So as you think about that thing that you want to manifest, what does it look like? Imagine how it looks. What color is it? What do you see around you? Are you outside? Is it inside? Are you with people? Does it have a sound? And if so, what does it sound like? What about how does it smell? Does this thing have a particular smell? Imagine the things. Utilize your 5 senses to help you get into the mode of being with that thing. So, what are you doing now that this thing is part of your life? What's different about your life now that you have this thing? Is it something you're enjoying by yourself? Is it for others? Who's with you in this visual of the thing? How does having it benefit or support you? So now that you have the thing in mind, you can see it, you can smell it, you can touch it. How do you feel? Do you feel relieved, supported, happy, loved, accepted? Does it make you feel proud or free, secure, maybe peaceful? Whatever emotion is present, allow yourself to experience it now. Really feel it. You don't have to wait for the manifestation to give yourself permission to feel. You can feel that emotion right now. Now take a moment to silently or say out loud, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now we'll take 3 more slow, deep breaths in through your nose, pause, and then out through your mouth. Breathe in, pause, breathe out. Again, through your nose in, pause, breathe out through your mouth. Last one, breathe in, hold it, and breathe out. Now, when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes and bring your attention back to the room. Okay, so now we did a visualization. So, what did you see? What details stood out the most? Was there any emotion that came through? If anyone would like to share, that would be amazing.
Yeah, I'd like to share.
Okay.
I saw myself in a home studio, much bigger than what I have now, space
Mm,
for everything. I saw me, I saw pieces of jewelry. Um, and I never thought to make fairy jewelry, but that's what I saw.
oh,
That pieces reminded you of something that you would see if you was watching, I don't know, some like The Hobbit or something. I don't know. I can't think of any specific movie with fairies in it right now. But I saw that. I saw a woman hold her hand out as I placed a piece of jewelry in her palms, and she was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you
wow.
made this." Oh my, and she was just so happy, so joyous, and I was smiling, and then I realized I was actually laying here smiling because I'm on my bed as I was doing this, smiling, and then I said, "Wanted to get back, get back, get back," because I was kind of coming
No,
into the physical.
that's great. That's what it's all about. I love that you had an experience and an emotion. You were smiling, you saw a lady, and that just gave you an example or a glimpse into how this manifestation could really help the world and your pockets too. But thank you. I appreciate you participating and giving your feedback. Ivory, I see you turned on your camera. Did you want to share?
So I told you that this is always like church for me. I'm over here
Mm,
crying. I didn't say what because it's my business, not yours. No,
yeah, of course.
I'm being silly, but it's personal. But it involved a courtroom. It
Mm-hmm.
involves me getting what I wanted, and it's not a legal matter in terms of me doing wrong, you know, as a consequence. So the outcome was in my favor. I already know that the outcome is going to be in my favor, but for me this is always like church,
Mm,
church. And right before you use the word confirmation with the car, even though you didn't get the car, that was your confirmation. You were confirmed that you were going to get it. And these tears right now is my confirmation that I just had to be able to weather the storm, pay for a lawyer, right? Because lawyers are expensive, and the outcome will be all worth it.
absolutely. Congratulations, Ivory.
Thank you.
So yeah, this is even both of you guys, and you getting a lot of love in the chat, but just to know that you can actually do this every day, once a day, when you have those things that you're manifesting because your brain, your subconscious doesn't know if it's real or not. Like it knows those feelings that you just had. It knows that woman that Wanda put that thing into her hand, the jewelry, and she's like, "Oh my God." So it's like, "Oh, this is what we need to start creating more of because you're creating those signals." Did anybody else want to share before I continue in with the example from the car? This was great though. I really appreciate y'all participating in that. Yes. Wanda says she could even smell the copper as she was creating the jewelry. So that's what it's all about. I'm telling y'all, that car, I could see, smell everything. So after my original vision of being in the car, I continued using my energy to create the subconscious experience of the solution, right? I didn't focus on how I would get the car because there was no way that I knew possible that I could get the car, right? So I just focused on making having the car feel as real and familiar as possible. So every day I wrote in my gratitude journal, I'm so happy and grateful now that I have a new Honda. I still actually have that journal. I chanted at the time I was chanting Nam Yoho Renge Kyo, but basically it's meditation. So I would do that in the morning and in the evening. I continued returning to sights and sounds and smells and emotions from that original vision. Right? So creating a visual experience for myself. I printed out pictures of black Hondas and I had taped them all over my house, right? I posted on Facebook a picture of a Honda and people was sending messages like, come pick me up. Like, okay, I'm on my way, right? I was on all different dealership websites, just looking at all types of black Hondas. I watched videos on these websites that showed the interior of these cars so I could get familiar with how the inside looked and felt. I created a pretend title application and a bill of sale using a random ass VIN number that I found on one of these black Hondas in all these searches and websites that I was looking at, right? I bought a Honda keychain. Even though I drove a Ford Taurus, I bought a Honda keychain and put it on my keys. And it became another physical symbol connecting me to the final outcome that I was creating internally, right? Then I went to a dealership. So the contest car was a Honda Civic. So I go to a Honda dealership. I tell them I want to drive a Civic. I was like, I don't need financing. Somebody's going to get this car for me. They just told me to pick out what I want and I need to come do a test drive. So that eliminated all the haggling and all that. That man pulled around in a black Honda Civic. I said a shiny black car. I didn't tell him a color. That was another piece of confirmation for me. So this was, like I said, back in 2008, whatever year it was. And that's when we still had CDs in the car, CD player. And I was listening to Adele. That was my song all the time, listening to that CD. So I get in the car to do the test drive and I'm like, oh wait. I get out, the salesman's like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, I gotta get my CD. He was like, really? Really. So I get back in the car, pop in my CD, and I still can hear that song. It's Someone Like You by Adele. And I made a video of myself like this is me driving my new car as I'm driving this test drive with the Adele song playing in the background. So for those moments, I wasn't sitting in my imagination trying to picture the experience. I was physically creating the sights, the sounds, the emotions that I had already experienced within myself in that vision that I had. So, getting a new car, you got to make room for the new car, right? So, I need to get rid of this old car. So, what else did I do? I created a Craigslist post to sell my current car. I had cleaned the car up, got it washed. I took pictures inside and out, wrote out all the details, how many miles it got on it, posted it for sale on Craigslist. And I ignored all the people that were like, can I come look at it? No, wait, you're going too far. Hold on. I still didn't know exactly how I was going to get the new car. But internally, I was connecting with the final outcome, right? And externally, I had to begin making room for it so that it could show up, right? So now we in the energy, which allowed me to experience the solution before I knew how it would happen, right? Because I'm imagining, I'm having these emotions about having this car. But manifestation wasn't only about what I imagined or practiced internally. The conscious problem and the subconscious solution, they still had to come into alignment to get to that higher G, right? So I had to remain open to ideas, recognize opportunities, take inspired action, which is something like a nudge that you don't know why, like, why would I want to go to this shop instead of that, or make a left instead of a right when I usually always make a, but you have to be paying attention when you're in manifestation mode, right? So to take inspired action and continue moving, even when like my physical circumstances contradicted everything that I had been imagining. It was no way in the hell I felt like I could have got a car from anywhere. Approved, not approved. Listen, it was just a lot, right? Which takes us to that next level, the the higher G or the super conscious, right? The alignment and elevation piece of it. So higher G is where the conscious problems and the subconscious solution come into alignment. This is where we begin to open up to intuitive nudges, signs and symbols, unexpected resources, helpful people, new opportunity, inspired actions, like I was saying, a path that you can't see from your current reality showing up, right? You don't have to force the how or figure out the entire path in advance because that's not your job, right? You just need to choose that thing that you want and connect with it through your imagination and your emotion. And your responsibility is to just remain elevated enough to recognize what's being revealed and move, take the action when that next step appears and when the next step appears. And elevation is the place where most people drop the ball when it comes to manifestation. But it's like the most critical piece. It's like playing sports. Like you got to finish. You can't just almost make the basket. Like you have to finish, right? You can practice gratitude. You can visualize the final outcome. You can create the emotion. But then you have to remain aligned when your physical circumstances still look the same. When my car kept breaking down every 10 days and I was like, nah, I got a new car. I got a new car. And that doubt started kicking in, right? The doubt was like, who the hell you think you are? You just gonna get a new car? Like what? Right? Who's gonna pay for this? How can you afford that? How you gonna get approved for a car? You can't even pay your rent on time, right? Where's the evidence that this is really even working? Maybe you should take what you can get. Doubt. I'm sure everybody on here has struggled with doubting something about something you're doing, somebody you might be dealing with, a situation. But if you're not careful, doubt will trick you out of your spot every single time. I promise. Doubt will trick you out of your spot. And your spot is that place of belief, alignment, expectation, and willingness to move when those opportunities appear. Elevation is choosing not to let temporary circumstances remove you from the internal position you work to create. So as I'm in this moment of doubt and like, who do you think you are? This isn't going to work. You keep telling everybody you're getting this new car, and yet still you keep asking people, can you get a ride to work? So, uh, during the time period that it took me to manifest this car, which was 27 days, my Taurus broke down again. I was overwhelmed. I was in my parents' basement because I had to spend the night to get a ride to work, or some reason I had to go there to help me get to work because my car wasn't working that day. And I remember pacing the basement just in this state of just about to have an emotional breakdown because I'm like, this isn't going to work. I'm just delusional and making up shit. And I just was on the brink. Doubt was about to trick me out of my spot. And then my phone rang. And it was literally the goofiest person to this day that I know. Me and her sat on the phone for a whole hour, just being goofy as hell, laughing, talking. And it was just what I needed in that moment because I was just about to lose it. I was just about to push that manifestation further away by being doubtful and not being faithful and letting the thing work itself out. Right. So I get on the phone, we talking. We didn't talk about the car. The conversation had nothing to do with the car. It didn't fix the car. It didn't give me a ride to work. It didn't improve my credit. It didn't put any money in my bank account for the down payment. But that conversation raised my vibration. So for that whole hour, I wasn't focused on the broken car. I wasn't focused on the problem or the doubt. By the time we finished talking, I wasn't even in the same emotional state anymore. That was elevation. And sometimes elevation doesn't immediately change the circumstance, it changes you within the circumstance. That phone call interrupted the doubt. It lifted my emotional state and it helped me to return to alignment without forcing myself to figure anything out. It was perfect, perfect timing. During those 27 days, alignment was confirmed repeatedly, right? And it wasn't always about the car. Some of this stuff showed me that I was supported, I'm connected, and that things could come together in ways that I couldn't have planned, right? The Macy's contest, that was the first confirmation. It appeared almost immediately after I declared that I was getting a new car. The Adele confirmation. One day I was having another struggle moment with my car, and I only had 7 TV channels. I didn't have cable at the time. I turned on that TV, and would y'all believe Adele was performing a live concert singing the song Someone Like You? The same song that I played in my video saying, "This is me driving my new car." The same song that played when I had that vision in my moment of gratitude. And as she's singing, the audience starts singing. So she got emotional. Adele turned her back. She's crying. I'm crying. It was amazing. It was like we were both there together. Out of the 7 channels I had, at the exact moment I'm struggling with this car, I turned on the TV and heard the one song that I had connected to the manifesting of the new car. To me, that was another moment of confirmation. I knew that the car was on the way. So some other things that happened during this time, I needed $45 for a copay at the doctor's. I found a scratch off ticket in my bag that was a $45 winner. As I sat there right after I wrote the bad check for $45. Then another day I had $31 to my name. I had a dollar bill. I imagined it was $100 bill. That same day, I leave the house with my little $1 bill. Somebody called and asked me to borrow $25 of my 31. I gave it to them. My father handed me a $100 bill when I asked to borrow $80. It was just alignment, alignment, alignment. The person that I gave the $25 to gave me a piece of paper that gave me access to $2,500, which is what I used for the down payment on the new car. So none of those moments look like the final manifestation by themselves, alone, turning a dollar into $100 or getting, you know what I'm saying? But together, they showed me that I was supported, like resources could appear, like the path was unfolding. Even when I couldn't see the entire plan, all I seen was that shiny black car. So my higher G wasn't only confirming the car, it was confirming the alignment that would lead me to it. So, okay, it's not over. I still had doubt, you know what I'm saying? I still had horrible credit. I had no savings. I had no obvious way of getting a new car. But I continued taking action. I went to a dealership, right? I didn't have the money in my account yet, but I told the salesman, "Oh, I could put down 2,500." He was like, where your little broke ass gonna get?" He ain't saying it like that, but I could tell how he was looking at me like, "Where are you getting 2,500?" I was like, "I would get it out my 401k," not knowing I didn't have the paperwork, the information, or none of that, even to access that money. But the person that I gave that $25 to knew exactly what I needed and gave it to me. So I wasn't telling a lie when I told the salesman that. So I go to the dealership and he told me he had 2 cars that he could show me. And he put me in a little silver 4-door Honda Civic. It was so little, and I just kept saying, "This is not my car." It felt so nasty and horrible. Even though it was a new car, it was just too much. This was an important moment of elevation because I could have allowed desperation to convince me that I should accept whatever was available. I could have let doubt tell me that this might be my only opportunity, but I knew what I had been seeing and feeling, and that silver Civic just wasn't it. So 2 days later, after I test drove that car, because I'm still like, okay, my car is out there somewhere. I went on that specific dealership's website and I saw a black Honda Accord right on the home screen. And I really yelled out, like, that's my car. I called the salesman and he said, oh yeah, that was the other car that I was gonna show you. The other car, like this is the only car, right? The car was only 5 years old. It had less than 30,000 miles on it and it looked brand new, right? But the money from the 401k, even though I had applied and blah, 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 it still hadn't been deposited yet, right? Which could have been another moment that doubt tried to trick me out my spot. But instead, the dealership was like, ah, just give us a post-dated check. Take the keys and drive yourself out of here. Man, when I arrived to pick up that car, the guy, they was walking me to the look at the car, and it was just like a movie, y'all. Because for some reason, the car was somewhere other than out. It was like in the garage where they was cleaning it up. They had all the doors open. It was all these guys like wiping on it, and everybody was smiling. It was just my biggest manifestation, like the best thing ever, because I know I intentionally created that. And 27 days after I had that moment, that breakdown, that vision, I drove away in a shiny black Honda. But the biggest kicker that y'all don't even know is that, remember I told you I made that fake bill of sale, VIN number. I'm just going to create some documents. That's my car. The VIN number that I was putting on those fake documents was the VIN number on that key that they gave me when I bought that car. I didn't even remember seeing what car, because I was looking all over the place at all different websites and things like that, but I manifested the exact car in 27 days. So elevation didn't mean that every obstacle disappeared before I took action. It meant that I remained aligned long enough to recognize the confirmations, receive the unexpected support, follow the ideas and the opportunities, refuse to settle out of desperation, taking action without knowing every step, and recognize when the car appeared. Like, that's not the car. And even the guy, the salesman, because I was like, this is not my car when I was in that Civic, he was like, what are you talking about? It's better than that thing you drove in here in. I beg your pardon, sir. Don't do me like that, but my car was quite raggedy that I drove in. So any car probably seemed better than that. But he didn't know that there was a whole bigger thing, The path, it didn't arrive as one complete plan. It unfolded through signs, people, resources, opportunity, and aligned action. And I remained in my spot long enough to recognize and receive it, right? So when you think back to that manifestation thing that you chose tonight, where might doubt be trying to trick you out of your spot? Hmm? What signs, supports, or confirmations have already appeared? Have you possibly dismissed something because it didn't look directly connected to your manifestation? Is there an intuitive nudge or opportunity or something bugging you that's just asking you for your attention? What would the elevated version of you believe or do next? Hmm. Does anybody want to share anything before we move on? We're closing up now. I know we got 5 minutes to go, but I do have an experiment for y'all to try next week. But I don't want to take away the opportunity if anyone wants to share. Go ahead, Juan.
I just one of the things that I know that I have to guard against is the doubt part. Saying,
Mhm.
"Girl, you got all these grandiose ideas. Nobody gonna," and and I immediately shut it down. But I do tend to do that at times.
Mm.
So that's one of the things that I have to be on guard and immediately counter.
Yeah, you just can't stay there too long because we're
Hmm.
human. So of course we're going to battle and go through doubts. But like me in that moment of where I really was doubting that car, like, this is stupid. What is wrong with me? And I was literally about to be like, my phone rang and it was somebody like, look at your big head, So then my energy completely changed. So it snaps me out of that doubt moment. But as long as you're aware, because it sounds like because you're like, oh, wait, I'm going too far.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. You got it. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you
good.
so
Thank you.
much. Anybody else want to share?
You know, I can't move fast enough, but for to
It's
what
okay.
you just to what she just said, I couldn't find it. It's this meme or saying or whatever that I look at that says, "Don't think of the one thing that you basically can't have what you want. Think of the one thing that the one reason that you can have it."
Mm.
Um, and it's really nice because it helped me through a lot of hard times. I can't find it right now, but that's
No, that's good.
something to add to your not staying down long. Think of the reason why it will work.
Exactly. And we don't have it all figured out. Like so many things have happened in my life where it's like, oh, they said it's this. Like, oh, well, they don't know me, or, they didn't tell me that. I got what I wanted. Like other people, like, hey, how'd you get? I really think it's about what you believe too, you know what I mean? So that's good input. Anybody else?
Hello?
Yes, hi.
Mine might seem, well, it's not simple to me, but for the past year, I've been having mobility or balance issues.
Mm-hmm.
So with my eyes closed, I saw myself doing the ballroom turn.
Yes.
So I have to work on, my physical therapy and all those things, but that's something that's important to me at this time.
Yeah.
And I saw it.
That's beautiful because I've been begging you to see it. So I'm glad I was able to get you to do it. And then hopefully you can continue to do it because it all starts in your mind and your emotion and your imagination, even the physical stuff. Like you can do that,
Okay.
because in science too, it's already been experimented, recorded that with athletes, for example, if they imagine running their event or playing the sport, the same muscles fire and wire while they're sitting there imagining it as if they physically did it. So visualization is very powerful. So I'm very proud of you. Thank you for sharing that.
You're
Can I
welcome.
add something to what
Ballroom
she just said?
turn, twist, twist. Yes, ma'am.
I like to add that I had went into it was like an impromptu live, and it was this lady who was anyway, to make a long story short, she was saying that a lot of mobility issues, especially as we get older, comes from not having strong hips and glutes, and that developing the hips and glutes will do wonders for the rest of our body.
Mm,
And so maybe, just finding exercises to help your hips and help your glutes. And I just thought, oh, I never thought about that. But they said that's where a lot of mobility begins to get lost um, as those areas are not worked or as they weaken. As
mm.
we get older. So, and that's a concern for me because I just turned 60 this year. So, um, just wanted to put that out there. Maybe, I don't know your situation, but um, that it said it starts there and then the knees tend
Okay.
to follow when you do the hips. At least that's what was said. I haven't researched it, but just wanted to put that out there. That's all.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, that's so nice, you guys. Okay, so let me go ahead and give us our 7-day experiment. So I try to end each week with an experiment or something you can use in the real world to kind of reinforce what it is we talked about. So tonight we talked about manifestation. So now I want you to be able to experiment with the process on your own. So for this week, I would love if you could choose one small specific thing. It could be something, a red bird, a blue balloon, something. It doesn't have to be that big thing that we talked about, like the car, the house, etc. It should be something that you don't have a lot of emotional resistance around, a free cup of coffee, something like that, right? A particular object or symbol, a specific song, unexpected compliment, unexpected money, maybe a particular word or phrase or invitation, right? So if you could think of something, I don't know if you guys are able to put it in the chat. If you could think of what's the thing that you want to maybe work on manifesting. Let me unpin this because I'm having a hard time seeing the other messages. Oh, Ivory, you be having some good ones. Don't think about the 1 million reasons why it won't work out. Think about the one reason why it will. Thank you. So if you can think of, I don't know if you can put in the chat, no worries if not, but this is the experiment. And if you're on my email list, I also email out the experiment tomorrow too to remind you. And then I'll paste it in the chat for you guys. So you're gonna choose one small thing. I'm sorry, go ahead. What you
I'm
say?
so sorry. You said choose one small thing that you don't have any emotional
Emotional
resistance
attachment
to,
to it. Yeah,
attachment to, and what are
yeah.
we supposed to?
So I'm moving on. I mean, I'm about to go over it. I just
Oh, okay. I'm
pasted. I'm
sorry.
pasting.
Okay.
It's okay. So yeah. So you're gonna choose one small thing you want to manifest, and I just put it in the chat, and you can maybe do a screenshot of that. And each day you're gonna say, I'm grateful now that maybe you want to get the free cup of coffee. I'm grateful now that I got my free Starbucks coffee. And then you'll visualize that for 60 seconds and just feel the emotion of like, oh my God, free coffee or parking spot, at the, whatever the thing is that you would like to manifest this week, right? So you want to stay open to the nudges, of maybe like, oh wait, I'm gonna let somebody get in front of me in line at Starbucks today. Normally I wouldn't, but now that might mean the person behind you or in front of you, they're gonna buy your coffee. Who knows how it will work out? And I'm just using coffee as an example, right? So don't let doubt trick you out of your spot. Because sometimes we pick like sometimes I just pick odd things just to test myself. Like I want to see a metallic orange balloon with a red circle on it, maybe not that detailed, but a specific color of something, and then I'll be like, man, that probably don't even exist. And once I let go of it, because now there's not resistance where I'm looking everywhere I go, usually that's when the thing will show up. So you want to choose it, thank it, feel it, and don't get tricked out of your spot, right? So my car appeared in the outer world after I had already started creating an experience of it within myself. And that's why manifestation is an inside job. Gratitude helped me receive the clarity from the problem. Emotion allowed me to experience the solution before I had physical evidence. Elevation brought the conscious problem and subconscious solution into alignment, allowing the path to unfold. The process began inside of me, but it didn't remain there. It changed how I saw, how I felt, what I believed, and how I moved. So the final question is, after moving your manifestation through your outer, inner, and higher G, what's one internal shift or aligned action you're ready to make? Just something else to think about as you go through your night and your day. Um, one internal shift or aligned action. And I'll add this too. I know I keep putting stuff in here. And then,
We appreciate it. You can
oh,
add as much as you need to. We appreciate it.
oh, good, 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 good. Thank you. So, um, so what you see in your life right now might describe where you are, but it doesn't have to determine what's possible, right? Be grateful for the awareness, connect with the emotion, and elevate into alignment. And don't let doubt trick you out of your spot. Please be happy, be grateful, be mindful, be you. And thank you for joining us tonight. And I hope to see you again next Sunday on the Zoom. Tap into your G, y'all. Thank you so much.
Enjoy your day, everybody.